There we are. We are live. We are live. You know, we're live on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. What's up, family? Mr.
What's
Network
going
43.
on?
I'm here. You guys already know. And you guys know the deal. If you guys are watching this live, hashtag live. If you're watching replay, type hashtag replay. Today about to be crazy, y'all. I
Sure.
got my guy, Philip AK in the building. And I think I was like 100K funding secrets or something like that. Yo, we just gonna call this the call to get the bag call. Because I
Yeah,
don't care what industry, Phil's gonna show you guys how to get that money.
let's do
So
it.
Phil, you wanna introduce yourself to the people, bro.
So what's going on, everybody? For everybody watching, my name is Philip AK, helping entrepreneurs get access to the funding and resources they need to start, launch, and scale their businesses. And one of those major important things that every business owner needs is some form of funding. And let me tell you, today we're going to be breaking down why this is important and what you need to do in your businesses to put yourself in a position where you can get access to the funds you need to grow, scale, and take it to the next level.
Mm, absolutely, bro. So tell them a little bit your story, how you got started and all this. Like, give them the rundown.
Real quick, so pretty much how I got started in entrepreneurship, I'll say started around 12 years old, right? But growing up early on, I used to, listen to a lot of music and stuff like that. I always looked up to like a lot of musicians who was also entrepreneurs. You get what I'm saying? Like I'm talking about the 50 Cents, the Jay-Z's, right? Even Soldier Boy. Soldier Boy was a trash musician to me, but he was making a lot of business moves. You feel me? People didn't see that. He was making a lot of business moves, right? Master P. I used to always watch a lot of shows like Shark Tank. And there was this one show where somebody would come in and they'll buy businesses and improve it, sell it, stuff like that. That's how I got into entrepreneurship young, right? But when I was 12, I really got into it on the negative side, the legal side of it, right? And this pretty much started, long story short, I was put in a position where, me and my family was in extreme poverty. And then I just got introduced to just, selling, drugs. So that's how I got into entrepreneurship, right? I first started with me just, at 12 years old, just, pretty much to summarize, I was able to turn $40, the last $40 I had to my name, into $1,000 day business in the streets. You get what I'm saying? That's how I got into entrepreneurship until I was 18. And then when I hit 18, my crib got raided, got locked up. You get what I'm saying?
Wow.
I had a felony on my record that I literally got the felony removed, expunged, and sealed in 2018. So I had a felony on my record for like 5 years. And man, long story short, I got into entrepreneurship on the wrong side. You get what I'm saying? On the wrong side of things, right? But fast forward, after my house getting raided, bailing myself out of jail, I discovered that I was having a child. So after discovering I was having a child, that's when I decided to take my life seriously. You get what I'm saying? I started to take my life seriously. I started to think, like, I didn't want to be one of those fathers. I want to be one of those people that are in and out of jail, not being able to be in my kid's life. You get what I'm saying? I didn't want to be one of those people, right? I wanted to be there for my kids, right? I wanted to be in their lives, be able to take care of them. So, so I made the decision that, moving forward, I'm going to get out the streets. I'm going to do things the right way, right? So long story short, and it was crazy. I remember coming out of jail like 2 weeks after being out, being able to get my very first job, right? So I ended up working at KFC in the casino in my state where I'm from, Rhode Island. It was at a casino. And for those of you who don't know, this right here was a miracle. Only God could have done this. I'm going to tell you. For those of you who don't know, if to work in a casino, they have very strict requirements. You cannot even work in a casino as a felon, but for some reason, I was able to get in. I was the only felon working in that casino at all. Like, let me tell you, it was crazy. This is 2 weeks out of jail, too. You get what I'm saying? They had me working in there, right? So that lasted about, I'll say like 3 months. And man, it was a struggle, man. Just imagine you used to making damn near 1,000 plus a day. You get what I'm saying? To you at the time, $230 a week. You get what I'm saying? It was a horrible time. It was a struggle. But let me tell you, the cost of living was probably half as cheap as it is now. And back then, I remember living in a 3-bedroom apartment that was like $850 a month. You get what I'm saying? Like, so the cost of living was cheaper back then, but I'm gonna let y'all know. Listen, it was a trying time because, man, after dealing with that, seeing that my check was at $230 a week, you get what I'm saying? Barely being able to pay a phone bill, barely being able to even take care of my kids or even get a car or do what I need to do. I just sat there and think like, man, this ain't it. This ain't it. I know there's more to life than just this. There's no way I'm gonna be out here working paycheck to paycheck, and barely getting by. Like, that's not my destiny. That's not how I want to live. You get what I'm saying? So I will go on eventually. After 3 months, I end up getting a better job. I would stay at that job for a few years, but the whole time I was at that job, I got straight into the building, right? So I got into at 18. I met this guy who's a millionaire, but he was making millions through network marketing, right? And through this network marketing company, I was able to meet a few guys who were doing very well, especially guys that look like me, right? And I didn't succeed in network marketing, but one of the things I did learn was mindset. It really helped me shift my mindset. When I was 18, I got introduced to a lot of books like Rich Dad Poor Dad, right? 7 Highly Effective Habits of Successful People, whatever, right? All these different type of books. I started reading a lot more. I started learning more about real estate. How to purchase properties, get in the game, how to find properties off market. And then at 20, that's when I actually officially jumped into real estate. You get what I'm saying? 20 years old. So I officially jumped into real estate. I remember the day to close the very first property. I remember getting a grant from the state, and last minute on closing day, they told me they ran out of money. You get what I'm saying? So the property ended up falling through, end up not getting the property right there and then. But 2 years later, I'll end up saving up my own bread and just purchasing a property off market, fixing it up. And to this day, that property is actually worth over $250,000 more than what I paid for it. You get what I'm saying? To this day, which is crazy, right? So I'm glad I jumped in early. You get what I'm saying? Early. But long story short, during that same time frame, like I purchased that property, I also opened a business in the beauty industry, right? With a business partner, selling wigs. We had a salon and stuff like that did pretty well. And one of the ways we actually blew that business up was through social media. We was working with a lot of artists in the music industry. We was working with a lot of people who had big influence, right? Promoting our business and brand, and it helped us to propel our business 6-figure plus, open salons and more, right? But long story short, what ended up happening is there was a fallout between me and that business partner, right? So that business partner, they end up taking the business, and I end up back at square one. This is like 2019. Ended up back at square one, right? So I had a decision, right, at the time to either go start another one because I got the formula and blueprint to build a successful business in the beauty industry, right? Or focus on helping other businesses be successful, right? And it was that moment I started consulting other businesses, helping them start launching and scale their businesses through like scaling up their business operations, their systems, pretty much putting everything together that they need in order for them to like grow and scale, right? And one of the things that I seen that was a huge gap for a lot of business owners was funding. Right? One of my very first clients, like I was able to take them from 0 to 30,000 within 30 days, right? And they was able to generate a consistent flow of income, quit their jobs, and really become full-time entrepreneurs. But the issue they was running into is they needed more funding to scale. They didn't have the funds they need to scale up. They didn't have the funds they need to hire the employees they need, right? They didn't have the funds they need to get the real estate they need to deal with their clients, to get the equipment they need, right? They needed the funds to really scale up, right? And then with my prior knowledge of being able to get funding with my businesses in the beauty industry, and in the past, I was able to leverage that to help out these clients, right? And since then, since 2020, I probably worked with at least, I probably work with at this point over 500 different business owners. Since 2020 to now. You get what I'm saying? Over 500. I know my customer list is between 500 and 600 at this point, but I helped over 500 business owners get access. Not even just for business funding and capital, but I also help them to scale through social media marketing and advertisement as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of course, through like business systems and operations. So that's how my journey pretty much started. Me getting into business consulting and helping other business owners start, launch, and scale their businesses and take it to the next level. And again, so that's pretty much how it started. It's a lot, but I know, I try to summarize it the best I can.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I love to hear the journey. And I gotta ask, so like, how old are you right now?
I'm turning 30 in what's it's the 8th, it's the 9th, and like I'm turning 30 in like 9 days.
Oh, happy early birthday.
Can you hear me?
Okay, so how old were you when yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
A lag, but how old were you? Yeah, I think it's definitely a lag. How old were you when you started helping people with like their business funding?
When I started helping other businesses, it was back in like so I'll say this is like 2020. So I'll say in 2020 I was like 25. No, how old? I was like 25, 26, something like that. I started my first legal business. I got into network marketing when I was 18. That I started my first legal business in the beauty industry when I was 22.
Yeah, I was like, bro, when it comes to like business funding, but I don't think I ever heard of business funding until I was like 29.
Oh yeah, see, for me, I knew because of my experience having like the salon, like it's a brick and mortar business, like dealing with inventory, like having to get inventory for beauty supplies, wigs, and different things like that, right? And dealing with those times where seasons are, those down seasons, needing that working capital to keep you guys moving forward. Like, so it was something that was very important to us, and we had a successful business, so I knew even with a successful business, you need business funding. You get what I'm saying? And a lot of people don't realize, like on Facebook, YouTube, all these other platforms we're on right now, literally they exist because of funding for their business, right?
Yep.
But then they raise money through investors. Then eventually through investors, they became public on the stock market and they raised money by taking people's cash from the stock market, right? And investing that back into the business so they can grow it, right? There's not many successful businesses I know out there that are really doing it. I'm talking about like 8+ figures that did not have some type of funding.
Yeah. And right? You don't see none 9 figures or above without debt.
If somebody told you that they built an 8-figure business without getting asked into some type of funding, some type of credit, some type of investor, some type of family or friend, they're the exception to the rule. That's very rare.
Yeah, right? I think I only know one person that's grown a massive company without using debt. And if I say his name, everybody would know he's the exception to everything.
And this is the issue, Jeremy, that people don't understand, right? And this is where we get a little bit deeper. Like majority of businesses fail within their first 5 years.
Yeah.
And in fact, the IRS expects you to be negative for your first 5 years.
Yeah.
They expect you to be negative, right? So if you're negative, investing all of your money in your own business, you're investing all of your own money into your own business. You get what I'm saying? You're losing for 5 years if you're using your own money. If you're the average business, right? You're gonna be losing for 5 years, and that makes no sense. Why would you put up your own money when you can put up your credit and get access to the funding you need to really scale your business, right? I'm working with a client right now he was able to get almost $150,000 in funding. And right now, he actually just up and left the U.S. He living overseas right now. You get what I'm saying? While running his American businesses. But this is the thing, right? Y'all got to understand, money is debt. Money isn't worth anything. It's not backed by anything. A lot of people think they got to work hard and trade their time for money. I'm telling y'all, that ain't the right way to build wealth. I want y'all to understand that. For the money you're working for, every year that passed by is losing value, right? And that's another reason a lot of people don't like to hear this. That's another reason why saving money is actually a scam. Because every year you save money, that money is losing 3% or more in value every single year. So if you're not consistently investing that money back into your business or investing in something that's going to bring you back more money, you're actually losing money. You have to get a 3% return on your money every single year in order for you to break even. For one, let's just start here. And just understand this, right? And this is another thing I want to touch on because a lot of people are also scared of taking on debt. The reason why a lot of people are scared of taking on debt is because they was introduced to bad debt. They wasn't introduced to good debt. And I can confidently tell you right now, right? My very first real estate deal made me $250,000. And I only had to come out of pocket $700, and I made that $700 back the very first month I bought the investment. And I didn't use, let me tell you, so I didn't even use my own money. I built wealth behind the bank's money. I personally did, so I can confidently say that I built wealth behind the bank's money, right? On top of getting access to funding from today, at this point, personally, I've gotten about $80,000 in just grants, over $100,000 in business funding. You get what I'm saying? So I understand how leveraging other people's money could literally help you accelerate your wealth building journey. Because the thing is, you gotta understand, they're printing money every day anyways. Why are you working so hard, right? For the people that's out here that probably working 9 to 5, I ain't saying a 9 to 5 is bad. Leverage that 9 to 5 and pay for your lifestyle. Do what you need to do. But understand this, right? A lot of y'all are trading your time for something that's not really worth anything. They print it out of thin air. You can literally walk into a bank. If you get your credit where it needs to be, you can literally walk into a bank and walk right out with $80,000. I'm talking about one bank. You get what I'm saying? You can walk into a bank and walk right out with $80,000. If you got the right credit, if you have your credit profile is good, your overall credit profile is good, you can literally pull that off. So why are you working for $80,000 for 1 year? It makes no sense. What you really need to get good at, and this is why I emphasize to everybody, you really need to get good at becoming a better financial steward, right? And I call this the triple M's, right? You need to get good at making money, managing money, and multiplying it, right? Right. And you need to get good at using the money to make more, right? You got to. So when you get that credit, you got to be able to turn 100,000 to 200, right? If you don't have that skill set, getting funding doesn't matter. You get what I'm saying? It doesn't matter if you can't turn 100 to 200. Getting funding don't matter. And this is the issue. I'm gonna go back to the bad debt, right? A lot of people use debt and funding to get cars, to buy houses that's not making them money, to fund vacations. Again, that's not making them money. You get what I'm saying? To purchase clothes, buy gifts for people. They use their debt to pay for everything that's not making them money. And that's why majority of people are suffering. A majority of people do not have wealth because they're spending their money on things that's not making them more money back. I told y'all, when I bought a house, I ain't buying a house for me to live in. I bought a house that was going to generate me some income. Today, that house is generating at least $4,000 a month in just rents. And on top of that, it has made over $250,000. It appreciated over $250,000, which out of that $250,000, no, I was wrong. Right now, it has $250,000 in appreciation in it. I already pulled $100K from that very property, and it still got to. So this is a crazy thing. Like it went from $135,000, right? That's why I bought it for a purchase price, $135K. To now is worth $450,000, and just imagine I already pulled $100K out. There's already still $250K there. So that's the thing. And all that came from leveraging other people's money. OPM. So if you're watching this right now, you better drop the word OPM in the chat.
You better type OPM, other people's money.
A lot of y'all be killing yourself trying to do it yourself. I get it, you're hard working, but we gotta be smart. We gotta be smart. Like I don't recommend anybody just blindly go get money just to get it. But I recommend everybody get to the bag, get the funding with a plan. Like have a plan in place to multiply that money. And I'm gonna give you some things. I'm gonna let y'all know a few things you should keep in mind when you're trying to get to that bag, when you're trying to get access to that money, right? Number one, you want to have clarity and a goal for the money. Nobody here should be blindly trying to get access to funding without clarity and a goal, right? So if I have a business, for example, let's go back to let's say I have a give me an example for a business, right? Give me an example, Jeremy.
Yeah. Let's get a coaching business.
Okay. If I have a coaching business, which I do, right? So let me say this, right? If I have a coaching business, I'm gonna know this off rip, right? For one, if I'm a true business owner, I should not be wearing all the hats at all. If I'm wearing all the hats in my business, I'm already doing business wrong. You know what I'm saying? If I'm a business owner, I should be wearing all the hats. So I'm gonna look and see what are all the things I'm spending my time on unnecessarily. I'm gonna delegate that, right? Number one, right? Sending out emails, posting content on social media, editing videos for social media, right? Scheduling video content on social media, right? These are all things that can be delegated, right? I'm gonna figure out how much does it cost for me to get a social media manager on my team for this year, right? Okay, boom. I might get somebody over from the Philippines, so that might be about that might cost about $1,500 a year, right? Okay, I know I'm gonna get $1,500 in funding just for my social media manager to hire that person, right? Again, now I want a consistent flow of leads. And this is something our team also, helps with. But and we let me tell you, I want a consistent flow of leads. Every business needs a consistent flow of leads. So you're gonna either have to get it through content or get it through advertisement, right? You're gonna have to get it through marketing, right? Marketing activities, which includes creating content, networking, and more, right? Referrals, word of mouth, and advertisement, right? I'm gonna need a budget for ads. How much is it gonna cost for me to be able to run ads all year long? And for example, I know in my head, for every 100 leads, I'm closing 3. How much clients do I want? I'm closing a minimum of 3 from cold leads. I'm closing a minimum of 3 cold leads for every 100, right? How much does it cost? And for example, I'm giving you an example because this might not be for everybody. For me,
hey bro, can I give him an example?
For me personally, what happened?
Can I give him an example? I give him a powerful example, bro. Because when I learned that, man, I was running my Facebook ad agency, and one of my guys was like, bro, you got a credit card? Even have a $1,000 limit. Spend the whole $1,000 on a week of ads. If you can get one client from you paying $1,000 a week, you make $1,000 a month, you make your money back, and then you just run it every week. By the end of it, all 4 of those clients are going to pay you again the next month, and you just keep doing that. That's how my guy went from 0 to $80,000 a month in 9 months. Bro, I did that. I spent $1,000. Every $240 we spent, we made $6,000.
Exactly, and that's my point. And that's a great example right there. So I want y'all to understand. So boom, we need an ad budget. Jeremy started with $1,000, but fortunately, when you understand the business funding formula, you can get well more than that. One bank could literally give you a $20,000 line of credit. You get what I'm saying? Easy. So boom. So I might think, okay, I'm gonna go to a bank. I'm gonna have that $20,000 line of credit. I'm gonna use that strictly for ads now. Now I got $20,000 advertising and marketing budget. And those are the key things every business owner needs. They need a marketing and advertisement budget. That's key. You need to have clarity on that. You need to know, I need to get to this bag so I can have a marketing and advertising budget. Just like Jeremy said, every $240 he was spending, he was gaining $6,000. Gaining $6,000. You know, which is new, which is good numbers. I think where I was.
Granted, that was back in 2021, so obviously,
So
ads a lot cheaper back then.
The ads switched up a lot since then. Back then, ads was great. Every dollar you put in, you get 8 back. You get what I'm saying?
Everything back.
I was like, every dollar you put in, you know, to get 2 back, you'll be satisfied. You get what I'm saying? That's like
we had a major back end system too. So.
Yeah. So I would say I know like for every 600 I was putting in, 3,000 was coming back.
Mm.
So I was getting $5 for every dollar I was getting 5. At 240, you damn near, if you make 6,000 240, you getting damn near $12 back for every dollar you spend it. So those are good numbers. But that's the thing, right? I know I'm gonna need 20,000 for advertising and marketing, and that 20,000 is gonna include hiring a ad specialist.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to figure out ads. You don't. You don't have to figure out funnels. You don't. Hire somebody who knows how to do it. You get what I'm saying? So that's gonna be included in my funding budget. I'm gonna get the funnels. So I can hire somebody to run the ads. I can hire somebody to do the funnels. I can hire somebody to do the automations, to put the emails together for email marketing, text message marketing. I'm gonna get the bag to do that, right? And that's gonna be a priority for every business, because without sales, you do not have a business.
Big facts.
Without sales, you do not have a business. And now I'm a coach. I'm a service provider. I might be thinking about hosting an event, right? So I've hosted plenty of events before. So I can tell you right now, an event could easily run you up on the lower end. Like on the lower end, if you did a bare minimum, $5K. If you want to look decent, you want the event to look nice, you're gonna be spent upward of probably between 10 to 20,000 easy, depending on how you're doing the event, how big the event is. A lot of things could play a factor. And then you gotta account for speakers. If you want to hire speakers, you can end up spending way more than 20. You get what I'm saying? It all depends on how you.
Some speakers charge 20.
You get what I'm saying? So exactly. Some speakers will charge 20, but they'll fill a whole room, right? So if I'm a service provider, if I want to have events, I'm gonna factor that into my funding. Maybe I'm gonna need at least $20,000 to run my first event. You get what I'm saying? Or like these are all things you want clarity on. You want to ask yourself, what exactly do you need the funding for? What exactly do you need it for? We already know we need funding for marketing and sales, right? And advertisement. Like that's priority, especially if you're a service provider. You need to get at least 20K minimum just for that. Not saying you're gonna spend the whole thing right away, but having that budget throughout the year could put you in position where that 20,000 multiplies to 100. You get what I'm saying? So that's something that's key. Again, depending on your work, you gotta ask yourself: do you need equipment? What kind of equipment do you need? Do you need inventory? All right, or maybe do you need a down payment so you can purchase a commercial property? And this is another thing that we also teach Jeremy, like how to get access to business grants as well, locally and federally, right? And a lot of business owners don't know there's a lot of grants out there for them in their states. For example, I'm in Atlanta right now. They have a grant called Invest Atlanta right now. So if you're in the technology space, they'll give you up to $150,000 in funding, debt free. You don't got to pay the money back, right? If you're in the tech space. But what's required is you're going to need a business plan, financial projections. You're going to need your business to be registered the right way. There's a lot of steps that's required with it. I'm not going to get too deep, but they'll give you that $150K if you meet those requirements and apply. And they also have another program where they'll give you $250,000 for a down payment for a commercial property that's located in something called an opportunity zone, right? An opportunity zone is pretty much zones where the city is trying to really build up for business and like community and things of that sort, right? So if you get a property in there, they'll give you a $250,000 down payment to get that property for your business, right? And that don't require your personal credit at all. You get what I'm saying? If those of you who don't understand the commercial real estate space, $250,000 is literally a down payment for a property that's worth $1 million. You can get commercial property worth $1 million with that $250,000, right? Or you can get something cheaper and use the rest of the money to renovate the whole space. You get what I'm saying? So you can use that money how you will, but they'll give you that fund to get the property renovated and then use it how you will. So if you're in a service-based business, maybe you want to open a business center or a coaching center where you can host your trainings, your classes, and more, right? There's a lot of opportunities like that in different states, right? So that's another thing that we gotta be mindful of. But yeah, man. So that's a little bit, of course, there's a lot. Jeremy, is there any specific questions you want to ask for your audience? What's on your mind right now?
Yeah, nah, bro. That was fire. I see them. They going crazy in the chat. But I'm going to tell y'all, man, I hopped on one live with Phil, and this man gave me one play. I was like, ain't no way. And then I went online and said, hold up. These people about to give me $5,800 for no reason? Unsolicited. They just sent it to me. I didn't even ask them for one play he gave me. I ain't gonna tell y'all what play that was. Y'all gotta connect with him on a personal level to get the play. But I was like, yo, like I want everybody watching this right now, even if it was only $5,000. If all you could get was the extra $5,000 of funding right now in the next 30 days, how impactful would that be for your business? How drastic would that be for your $5,000? What could you do with $5,000? Not of your own money, of somebody else's money. See, some of y'all right now, y'all working the job, you trading hours for dollars. How much of your life do you have to sacrifice that you're not going to get back for $5,000?
And let me add this here. This is something people overlook, Jeremy, right? You can use business funding to pay yourself a salary in your business. A lot of people don't understand that. You can literally use business credit cards to pay yourself an actual W-2 for working in your own business. You get what I'm saying? What can you do if you can pay yourself full-time in your own business to grow? You get what I'm saying? And another people don't understand, $5,000 can even go a long way. Like, I have one of my clients who damn near he put down around $3K and was able to get $15K back in just ads. Like you don't even have to go crazy and get $100K, especially as a service provider. Most of our service providers have a huge profit margin, right? Most of our businesses are low cost, so you don't even have to go crazy and get $100K. Even a 5K could make a huge difference. 5K can damn near get you a good maybe about at least 5 high ticket clients. Paying at least $2,000 to $3,000 a piece, and that's on the low end of high ticket. You get what I'm saying? On the higher end of high ticket, if you're more higher end, you charging $10,000 for your program. You can easily within that 5K, you're gonna find at least 5 people find you 10K to pay you 10K. That's $50,000 right there.
Exactly, bro. I teach people, man, the fastest way to grow. Like you leverage good debt.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, like usually we was talking about 5X earlier. So if you spend $5,000 and then you make $25,000 within the next 30 days,
yeah,
you can pay the $5,000 off. You still got $20,000 extra. What happens if you then spend 10 of that the next month and you still get a 5X? Now you just make $50,000. Yo, just off of 2 months of that example, you got a $500,000 company.
Exactly. So the thing is, like, what the whole point of this is for everybody that's watching, like, you guys don't have to like start with nothing. You don't have to get it up out the mud, and you don't have to work your way to the top. We don't go into business to make money, right? We get the money to go into business that's gonna make us money. You get what I'm saying? Let's get the money first, because a lot of times y'all gotta understand, especially if you're a minority, right? A lot of us don't have family members that are well off already that can loan us money at low interest rates, right? There are families out there that do have that. You get what I'm saying, right? There's families out there that do got that advantage. And if you are a family that got that advantage, you might want to seek raising money from your family and friends first before you seek funding. You get what I'm saying? You might want to seek that first, right? So if you're not a family, if you don't have family like that, the great thing about being here in America is we have the credit system that can allow us to get access to the funds from banks and lenders that we need to grow our businesses and take it to the next level. I want y'all to understand this because, my parents are Nigerian, right? We got property back in Africa. The whole system's completely different. Nobody could just wake up one day and, go to a bank and get money out because of credit. It don't work like that, right? You got to have some type of ownership. You got to own property. You got to put something up for collateral for you to get money from these banks. Your credit isn't collateral. In America, credit is collateral. You can literally just have a good credit score, walk into a bank, and leave with 80K with a good credit score. Like one bank. And this is a crazy thing, right? If you're somebody who got zero increase on your credit report, you can apply to 5 different banks that pull from each credit bureau. That's 15 banks, right? Say I went to 15 different banks and got $20,000 up from each bank. Do the math. You get what I'm saying? Do the math on how much funding I could get off those 5 increase for each credit bureau, right? That's $100K for each one. That's $300,000. You get what I'm saying? Like, so I want y'all to understand that's off the credit. You get what I'm saying? That's off the credit. That's not even like they're not even asking you to put up some collateral. They're not asking you to give them your house. They're not asking you to give up, certain things. Of course, if you have lower credit, you will have to bring up some collateral if you have low credit. Low credit as being as like, I'll say anything less than 620, you're gonna need to bring up some collateral, or there's other funding options. I was telling Jeremy earlier, we're having a class Thursday night where we're gonna dive deeper into this for those of you who do got low credit, right? So yeah, so pretty much for the person asking, what's the average credit score to get business funding? I want y'all to understand this. You can get funding regardless of your credit score. It's not a one size fit all. Depending on where your credit score is at, will determine your route to getting funding. For example, if I have a 680 plus, that's considered good to most banks. With a 680 plus, it's gonna be super easy. I'm gonna have a lot of options. It's gonna be very easy for me to get business funding with 680 plus. On top of the 680 plus, of course, there's specific data points you want to hit on your personal credit in order for you to get approved, right? For example, you want to have a history of different credit accounts. You want to have as close to 100% payment history as possible. There's a few things you want to have on there. I don't want to get too deep, but there's a few things you want to have on there that's going to ensure you get approved. Anything below 680, like between 620 to 680, you can still get funded high limits, but your funding is going to be based on your relationships with that bank. Right? So if you have a 620 or 680, you want to build up a good relationship with that bank. How do you build a relationship? Deposits. You get what I'm saying? At the very minimum, anybody in general, I recommend you keep an average daily deposit of $1,000 or more. That once you do that, you appear on the bank scoring system with that bank. They have their own bank credit scores, their internal scores, right? So if I keep an average daily balance of $1,000, I just hit the minimum for that bank. Now I got a credit score with them. You get what I'm saying, right? That's something people don't think about. And then on top of that, your history with the banks, your history doing deposit with the banks, not overdrafting, all of that matters. So if you're between 620 and 680, you can get funding from these banks, still high limits, but your relationship with those banks is gonna matter. That makes sense, right? For somebody who's below 680 as well, you have a lot of options there. A lot of places that fund you based on how much money your business is making, right? Or you can get funded based on how much money your business is making. You can get funded based on grants, or if you have collateral. Say I have a 600 credit score, but I have a house that have $100,000 of equity in it. I can use that house as collateral to get $100,000 business line of credit. You know what I'm saying? So that's an example of how you can use your collateral. You can use the amount of money you make. You can get funded as soon as you start making consistently at least $3,000 a month. You can start to get funded. Even if you have a credit score as low as 500. You get what I'm saying? I personally help people with credit scores as low as 500 get $10,000+ in funding, just with a 500 credit score. So it's and one of them getting at least at this point about $40,000. So I want you to understand. So the answer is not necessarily going to be, does my credit has to be good or what it's not. The answer really is, what exactly is your goal for funding? What do you need funding for? And based on that, then you can create a roadmap to know how you're going to get access to that funding. The people who got good credit scores will get the most money. For example, if I'm a 680, I'm a 680 plus and my credit is fully optimized, I can easily get 50 to 250,000 per business just based off my credit score. If I got 680 plus, that's the thing, right? For people who got lower than 680, it's gonna be more work to get to that 100,000 plus. It's gonna be more work to get to that 50,000 plus. There's more you need to do in order to get access to that type of money. So the better your credit score you have, the more money you can get access to. But at the same time, you can have a low credit score and still get access to funds. For example, for anybody making over $15,000 a month in their business with a low credit score, they can get twice as much as funding than what they make. So if I'm making $50K a month, I can get $100,000. If I'm making $100K a month, I get $200,000. Now I have one client. He just got a loan for $180,000, and that was strictly based on how much his company was making. But he's doing a good 1.2 million or more in revenue. So that's his case. So he's making the revenue to get access to those funds. So credit is not a factor when you're making money. I'm saying that's key to know. So when you're actually generating consistent flow of money, credit is not really a factor. But this is the thing I want you to understand. When you don't have good credit, there will always be some type of high interest.
Yep.
At least the very first time you get your loan, they might give you a high interest at first, and then as you build a relationship with the lender, they'll lower the interest rates. But your first loan is always going to be high interest. They're always going to require high interest. You can't avoid that, right? So there's many different things that play factors. And this Thursday, we're actually having a class. I'm going to send over to Jeremy. He's going to drop it in the group, and you guys will be able to register. It's going to be this Thursday night at 7 p.m. EST. And we get deep into like your business foundation, what your business need to look like, what your credit profile need to look like, your low credit options, and the good credit options. We dive deep pertaining to all those different things. So sure. But to answer your question, like your credit doesn't matter. You can get funded regardless of your credit score. I personally got real estate loans without even using my personal credit at all. You get what I'm saying? So that's the crazy part. Like without using my personal, like if you bring it, for example, in real estate, if you bring a good enough deal, you can essentially get it approved without using your credit. Or if you build a good enough relationship with some of these private lenders, you can essentially get these deals without even using your credit. So that's something I want y'all to understand. Like I'm telling y'all, like with no credit, real estate loan. You get what I'm saying? Some of y'all probably like, damn, how's that possible? How can that happen? I ain't gonna get deep because this ain't real estate class, but just know your credit is not a factor. What's more important is having the clarity and understanding of how much money do I need and what do I need the money for? Once you know those two things, that'll determine the path that you take to get access to the funding or the funds. For example, if I'm somebody who knows I need 250K in funding, but I don't make much money and my credit score is low, I might have to go through credit repair. You get what I'm saying? I might have to go credit repair, build it up, get it where it needs to be, so I can easily access that $250,000+ of funding. You get what I'm saying, right? Or if I'm somebody who doesn't need as much as that, but I'm already making money, and I just need an extra 10,000. There's other ways for you to get that. And so there's other ways for you to get that. So it depends on what your unique business situation is and what you need the funding for. So all those things play a factor.
Let's go, bro.
Did that answer your question?
Bro, that's heavy, bro. And I tell people that was my secret when I got started. Because, man, people know me, like when I got into entrepreneurship, it wasn't like I had this which is crazy because everybody asked me to come in and speak at events. Like, I want you to talk to my people about how to leave their job and go full-time in entrepreneurship. Sir, I got laid off. I didn't have a choice. This was not a planned event. So I'm saying with no money, no credit, and then we just built the business. And then all of a sudden, my wife and I combined, both with bad credit, but cash flow. They gave us $19,000. And people's like, bro, but y'all both, like, I think we was both at like 550 and 580 credit score. But the cash flow was so strong, it's like, boom, 19,000.
Yeah.
So, and I know you got all the sauce. I don't want you to keep going because they need to hop on that call Thursday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Do you have a link right now that we can drop, or just want you to drop it later?
I got the link. Give me 1 second. Where do I drop the link at? Where you need me to drop that?
You can drop it right here in the group or in this chat, and I can.
Let's see.
But y'all, you guys have no idea how it's like you can hear it conceptually, but like until you actually take the credit and run the plays, y'all have no clue like how powerful. Like I started off, bro. When I was 20 years old, I owned a tattoo shop, bro.
Yeah.
All cash, and then I discovered personal credit. Cause I was like, bro, these materials. Well, I'm just drop this in the same day. All the it was just like I'm running cash, I'm running crash, and then I'm running personal credit, and then all of a sudden I'm like, bro, it gotta be a better way. It has to be a better way. And then when we start using credit,
and it all comes down to that, Jeremy, is like if we start with our own money, like it's a business, so it's gonna require think about your business as a seed. You get what I'm saying? That needs to grow. Your farm, you the farmer, right? Mm-hmm. And the funding or the funds that you have is the water, right? Mm-hmm. If you don't have enough water, the seed is not gonna grow, right? So a lot of people don't make enough money to even grow the business. They might have the talent, the great business idea, but they just don't have enough water to let that seed grow, right? So that's where funding comes in, especially when you got a proven concept. You can leverage that to water that seed till it becomes a fully grown plant to the point that not only is the seed grown, the seed is feeding you, right? It's bearing fruit. It's feeding you. It's grown on its own. It doesn't need your funding no more. It can fund itself, right? But even in that point, a lot of businesses still get funding. You get what I'm saying? You got big businesses like Walmart, right? They got huge lines of credit that they use. You got Amazon. They owe billions of dollars in funding, but they make more. It's crazy because they make more at this point than what they actually owe, and they still don't pay the money back.
That's right.
And they still don't pay the money back. And this is a crazy thing people don't understand about business funding as well. It's like debt is tax-free.
Mm-hmm. I just did this Google search because I was like, because I know Apple, the #1 company in the world.
Yeah.
As of December 2023, $108.04 billion of debt.
Yeah. But then you gotta think about it. AirPods alone, a product, makes at least $10 billion a year. Just AirPods. You get what I'm saying?
$1 trillion company.
So you gotta think about it. So it's like even them to this day, they're still leveraging funding to grow. Like a lot of people don't understand. Funding, man, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. Somebody said the site isn't valid. Let me double check real fast. I got y'all right now. I'm gonna resend the link right now. But again, guys, Apple. Hold on. So Apple, Amazon, all these brands, all these companies, they're leveraging some type of business capital, business funding.
Oh, no, the site worked on my end. Did y'all type it right?
Yeah, let me drop it again. I'm gonna drop it again in the private chat. But yeah, that's the right link.
Yeah, because I just copy and pasted it and it worked.
Yeah, it's working on my end.
Did you guys type the www dot in there?
Yeah, just try copy and pasting that.
How it is on the screen, and then we'll drop the link in the group also.
Yeah, just drop it after too. But yeah, like Apple, man, I'm telling you, Apple, Amazon, all the big businesses and companies you can think of, they all leverage funding. Tesla and more. I'm telling y'all, and that's why a lot of people. And it's sad, a lot of minority-owned businesses, they end up only having like one employee. A lot of them don't even have employees. A great percentage of minority-owned business owners don't even have employees. And that, to me, that says a lot. That means, for one, if you're a minority-owned business owner, there's a high percent chance that you're wearing all the hats in your business, right? That's a high percent chance, right? If you're wearing all the hats in your business, you most likely just don't got funded, or you don't have the funds to grow your business. Because if you had the funds to grow your business, you wouldn't be wearing all the hats.
Yep.
You get what I'm saying? It makes no sense to wear all the hats. You get what I'm saying? So if the big businesses do it, why aren't we? You get what I'm saying? Like, I think the main thing that's a factor is going to come down to financial literacy. A lot of people are not financially literate enough to be able to take the funding and use it as good debt and use it to build wealth. Like me personally, I'm telling you, I went on a journey, like years of reading books, studying the real estate market, studying business, before I actually used the funding. You get what I'm saying? I went on a journey and a path to make sure I'm financially literate enough to multiply the money. And like I was saying before, debt is tax free. So when I pulled out 100K, what I was talking about earlier, right? That 100K was not taxed, right? And when I spin the block, we actually in the process of pulling out some more. So when I spin the block and pull out another 100, is 100K cash, no tax. So Uncle Sam ain't coming for 30K. Uncle Sam ain't come for 40. You know, it doesn't have to be reported on the tax return. Debt cannot be taxed. So now, boom, if I buy, I know a lot of you might not be in real estate, but if I'm a coach and I buy a few houses and stuff like that, and I make and these houses appreciate, I can use these houses to get business lines of credit. I can use these houses to get home equity lines of credit and not get taxed on the money I'm actually getting. And I can actually pay myself a salary with that money as well, right? You know, out of that 100, I probably paid myself like a good 45, you know, invested the rest. You get what I'm saying? So I want you to understand that, right? I want you to understand that. So debt cannot be taxed. If you want to build wealth, if you really want to build wealth, guys, you got to really understand how to leverage debt, and you got to understand how to leverage taxes, right? And that's another thing y'all don't understand. I don't want to get too deep, but, you know, even in the real estate game, you know, there's a few plays you can make where you can, like, write off depreciation. And there's something called accelerated depreciation, where you can write off majority of the value of a home this very same year. So if I make $500,000 right now in my coaching business, the IRS is going to come for at least 175, 180, right? And out of that 175, 180, if I would take that 500 and go buy a property, I can just depreciate the property that same year and avoid legally paying the IRS. Like that's one thing I want y'all to understand, right? You gotta understand how to leverage debt and taxes to build wealth. I'm telling y'all, you will put yourself in a position where you legally avoid paying the IRS. You put yourself in a position where you're able to build debt on somebody else's dime. These big banks, organizations, corporations. You get what I'm saying? Without having to run yourself through the ground trying to work 9 to 5s. You get what I'm saying? Like, just imagine, bro. Just imagine, bro. People really work hard just to make like $60,000, $70,000, right? And if your credit was right, you could literally walk out of the bank with that within 30 days. You get what I'm saying? You could literally walk out of a bank with that within 30 days if your credit is crazy. Ain't that crazy? And people working a whole year for what? So that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying working is bad. Of course, you want to, you know, work if you need to. Your business can sustain you. But I want you to understand, don't work thinking that you have to fund your vision. Just know there's resources available for you to fund that vision without you having to break your own bag, have to use the money you're working so hard for. You know, understand that those resources are available. But I'm going to wrap up with that. I'm just going to leave it at that. You know, y'all got to definitely be in that class this Thursday for sure.
There y'all go. Y'all see it on the screen. Got the link on the screen. We'll drop it in the group also. If you guys aren't in the Facebook group, get in the Facebook group because, yeah, y'all, this class is going to be crazy. Y'all better be there. And I promise you guys, once you guys see, this is what I tell people feel. Sometimes it's not that we don't have financial literacy. I think the real problem is we do have financial literacy, but we've been taught the wrong thing financially.
Yeah. That's fact.
So we think we're financially literate, but everybody told us all debt is bad debt. All debt is bad debt. Oh.
Listen, I'm a test.
A penny saved is a penny earned. No, a penny saved is a penny depreciating.
And let me say this, guys. Like, I'm a testament. Like, I practice what I preach, and I got receipts. You get what I'm saying? So I'm a testament. I'm a living testament. I'm telling y'all right now. Debt is money. Money has no value. Like, you got to realize that as soon as possible. Money doesn't have value anymore. It's being printed every day. Why are you going to work hard for something that's getting printed every day? They're literally printing endless amounts of this. For those of you who don't know about fractional banking, every dollar you put in, the bank could legally print 10. So if I put $1,000 in the bank, now the bank got 10K. So I want y'all to really understand this. Like, this money being printed out of thin air, and a lot of y'all are working very hard for it, and you're barely even getting paid for what you're working for, right? They're paying you pennies on the dollar. You get what I'm saying? They probably pay you $20, $30 an hour. Whole time that $20, $30 times 100 just got printed in 5 minutes. You get what I'm saying? So that's the issue. This, like, y'all gotta understand, money isn't backed by nothing. It's what we call a fiat currency.
Yeah.
It's backed by the army. That's pretty much it. You get what I'm saying? But it ain't backed by nothing, guys. The sooner you realize that, you're gonna start looking at money differently. You gotta understand, why am I working so hard to build my vision when I can just work hard to get to the bag and use the bag to build my vision? You get what I'm saying? Why am I gonna work? Why am I gonna put out all these hours? Because I want you to understand, your time is more precious than money. It's worth way more than money. Like, you can lose money, make money, get it back, whatever case may be, but you can't do that with time. You can't lose time and get it back. You can't flip time and multiply it. You get what I'm saying? You lose time every day, no matter what. Every day that goes by, you know, you're a step closer to the casket. Like, I'm telling you, and that's the truth. Like, every day that goes by, you're a step closer to the casket. There ain't no flipping it, multiplying. You cannot multiply time. So why are you trading it for something that has no value? You get what I'm saying? For something that has no value, you have to learn the money game. You have to learn the money game and take advantage of it. You get what I'm saying? You gotta learn the money game and take advantage of it. And working just ain't it. If you're working, I'm not saying there's something wrong with it. If you're working, work with a purpose. Don't do it for the money. Right? Don't ever work for the money. Work with a purpose. Like me personally, if it's purpose, I'll get paid $10 an hour if it's aligned with my purpose. I don't care about the money. I ain't taking the job because of the money. You should never put yourself in a position where you have to do that, right? We have to think smarter. We have to think bigger. We gotta be more financially literate. We gotta leverage these funds to build up our vision, to build up our empire, to build up wealth for our families, right? To take our businesses to the next level. We gotta leverage the money that's already being printed, opposed to working for the money that's being printed. If you're working, work for a purpose, guys. Do it for a purpose, right? Do it to get you by your first phase in business. If you need to take care of bills or your lifestyle, do what you gotta do. But don't you ever work for a second thinking you're doing it for the business. You get what I'm saying? Business, go get your money right. Go get your credit right, right? Understand how to get funding. Take advantage of these funding options. I just told you I got over $80,000 in just grants. This is $80,000 that I never have to pay back.
Crazy, bro.
Some people don't even make that in a year. You get what I'm saying? And then people be wondering, like Phil, how you been in full-time entrepreneur for so long? I understand the money game. You know what I'm saying? That's how I understand the money game, and it's rigged if you don't know what's going on. Especially because, like, this is another thing. Like, I'm not saying there's something wrong with going to school, but in school we don't learn money in school at all. So a lot of people don't take the time to learn money outside of it. And I think that's where the real issue is. I think God nowadays is trying to incorporate this in school now. But before, if you grew up in my generation or older, they wasn't teaching money in school at all. It wasn't teach you that. That's something you had to learn outside. And I think because of that, a lot of us end up falling into the trap of go to school, go to college, get a good job. You get what I'm saying? And people don't understand. A lot of people I've seen that went to school, went to college, did not get a good job. You get what I'm saying? They racked up a lot of debt. We're told it was overqualified. And for the places where they actually were qualified, they was told they didn't have enough experience. You get what I'm saying? Right? Back in the day, back before that generation, they used to say, go to school, learn a trade, work in a factory. You get what I'm saying? But let me tell y'all gotta stop crap. Y'all can't listen to just anybody. Go look at somebody who's where you want to be and follow what they're doing. You get what I'm saying? A lot of the people who are saying go to school, go to college, get a job, didn't even have a degree. And let me tell you, I got a college degree, and I'm gonna tell you right now, it's a waste. I don't even use it. I regret going to college. I ain't saying college is a bad thing, but I got a degree, and I regret going to college to get it. To me, it was a big waste of time that I could never get back. That I could never get back with my kids, my family. I grind hard for that degree, and I'm not even using it to this day. I'm not saying degrees are bad, but I'm saying this, like, it's not the answer to your financial problems. It can actually fuel your financial problems. If you're in debt, at least I left school debt free. You get what I'm saying? I know a lot of people that owe like $100,000+ and they're not even working in the field they went to school for. So again, y'all gotta get clear on your vision. Understand that the resources are available for you. There are resources available for you. There's finances available for you. You know, you just have to be clear on what exactly is it you're trying to do, how much money you need to actually do that, and what's the path, what's the roadmap to get to the bag to be able to go ahead and build up that vision. So I'm gonna leave you guys with that. So I'm gonna leave it with that, guys.
Big facts. Well, awesome, brother. I appreciate you coming and just serving and just blessing my community with all the knowledge. Yeah, y'all. Thursday night, we're about to drop the link in the group. Y'all connect with Phil, hop on that masterclass, get your money mentality right, and then I want to see all. Y'all better come back in the group like, yo, I just got this much funding. I got this much funding. I got this much funding. And we'll celebrate you.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
For those of you who register, I'm going to see you on the other side. Let's go.
Let's go. See y'all Thursday.